What's up YouTube? What's up guys? What's up Twitch? It's Jflood201 and I'm coming at you with another reaction video. If you guys have ever heard of the rapper Cordae, he started out in a group called YBN. And YBN had a big hit with this guy named Nahmir. It was called Rubbing Off the Paint, and it was really popping a few years ago. I have no idea when exactly it came out. I just remember that in the 2000s, maybe 2015, 2016, maybe even later, something like 2018, there was a big hit called Rubbing Off the Paint by this guy YBN Nahmir. And shortly after that, I never heard from him again. But I know for a fact that Cordae is talented as a motherfucker, and I listen to all his music now. He was tied to that group. So I'm wondering what happened, and I saw a YouTube video come up on my suggested algorithm, and it says, The Story of YBN Nahmir, What Happened? And so we're going to get right into it today. No bullshit. Again, my name is Jflood201. Thank you for tapping in with my reaction channel and Respect the Grind, where I interview musicians. If you donate to our channel, it really helps. We're trying to get electricity back in this garage. I kind of run a wire from my setup into the main house to get electricity right now. So if I could fix the breakers and get some more stuff in here, we can have a more poppin' studio environment again. Anyway, that's my piece. Thank you for checking out my content, my video. We're going to get right into it today. So what the heck happened to YBN Nahmir? Maybe you guys have never heard of him. That's okay. We're going to get right into it and everything will be discussed. So let's go.
Just a few years ago, YBN Nahmir was one of the hottest up-and-coming rappers in the game. He first went viral with the track Rubbing Off the Paint and was part of a successful collective with his homies, YBN Cordae and Almighty J. But now the YBN group is finished and Nahmir is struggling to keep a fan base. To make matters worse, he's now being accused of switching from GD to Crip. Here's what's going down. Unlike most rappers, YBN Nahmir ain't come up hustling in the streets. He started out as a young kid who played a lot of GTA and freestyle for his friends online. And music wasn't something he took seriously. But all that changed after he linked up with Almighty J. Almighty J was just another dude who joined the Xbox Live party Nahmir was in. They didn't even get along at first, and Nahmir later said that the first real rap he ever recorded was a diss track against Jay. Jay sent his own diss track at Nahmir within a day, and from then on, they had mutual respect for each other, and eventually became close friends. This eventually led to Nahmir and Jay.
Yo, that's funny because I actually have some friends that started out the same way. Shout out to my Kadosh. I think he's still making music. He owns like Muzz Cafe or something over there in Brooklyn. Shout out to the guy. We had beef right away when we were in high school, and the way we settled it was a rap battle. He definitely won too, if I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he had his hype men there to hype him up, like, oh, after every, shit, but he came prepared with punchlines, and he beat me. So that was a learning experience right there. I'd love to get at it again. I don't know. I think he still raps. Come at me, bro. I'm right here. My, what up? Anyway, let's get back into it. I'm just saying, it's interesting how young men can start out as beefing and squash it, and actually it can turn into mutual respect and you guys can become friends. I always think that that's a really positive, great thing, and I've had some good friendships start out that way.
Forming the Young Boss Nigga Collective, or YBN, with a bunch of their homies in 2014. At the time, there was a lot of people repping YBN, but Nahmir, Jay, and Cordae became the faces and stars of the group. But even after YBN was formed, none of them was really focused on.
So that guy on the far left is a guy named Cordae. He is by far the most talented person in this scenario, and he shines through, and you can look him up now on YouTube and stuff. You're gonna love it. If you like the Harry Mack videos, if you follow my channel, if you like hip-hop, you're gonna love Cordae. Check him out. But that's where this kind of whole thing starts for me, is like, what happened to them? So let's get into it.
On music. In 2015, Nahmir and Jay released their first official track, Hood Mentality, but it barely got any views. They kept releasing music on YouTube and SoundCloud for the next couple of years, but nothing that really popped off like that. So, it sounded like music was just a hobby for them. But then in 2017, their lives changed overnight. Nahmir dropped the track Rubbing Off the Paint in September 2017, and when he woke up the next day, it had over 50,000 views. And one night, it became his hottest track by far. Then a couple days later, World Star Hip Hop posted a music video on their YouTube channel and took it to a whole new level. As of today, Rubbing Off the Paint has over 200 million views on YouTube. With this one song, Nahmir put himself and YBN on the map. He got so popular so fast that he had to drop out of high school and start taking online classes. Overnight, the YBN crew went from a bunch of kids playing video games together to an actual hip-hop collective with a Billboard charting song.
But isn't that everybody's dream? Like, isn't that, like, that's my dream, right? That's everybody's dream who's out here doing something, like, trying to entertain for a living. Is like, we just hope that something, like, finally gets through and is like, oh, wow, and it's received really well. And then you have an opportunity like that. Not to say that it's not crazy. Like, I can't imagine being in high school and having that happen. Now, at my age now, I would know exactly what to do with that kind of a situation. Or at least I think I would handle it a lot better and make some pretty smart moves with that attention. But being 18, 17, you're like, how do you not get gassed up after that? And it's incredible. It's surreal, right? Like, you just blow up overnight.
2018, Nahmir, Almighty J, and Corday all performed together for the first time at Rolling Loud. That same year, Nahmir was listed on XXL's freshman class, and the three of them performed again at the freshman show in New York. Nahmir was the first one to pop off, but Corday started making big moves of his own. Juice WRLD brought him on his North American World Domination Tour, then the YBN crew announced a month-long European tour right after. Nahmir, Almighty J, and Corday was taking over the game. Out of nowhere, these three dudes who met on Xbox Live was performing shows all over the world. But that kind of overnight success rarely lasts forever, and the good times ain't last for long. In 2019, Corday took his career to the next level. He was named on the 2019 XXL freshman class, then earned a Grammy nomination for his solo album, The Lost Boy. Nahmir was still dropping music, but nothing that came close to his earlier hits. Corday, Nahmir, and Jay released their YBN mixtape a year earlier, but out of the three of them, Corday was the only one who was still building momentum in the industry. Then in 2020, things really fell apart for the group. Corday and Almighty J both decided to drop YBN from their names, and in August 2020, Nahmir tweeted, "They left this YBN shit in the gutter. Remember that. I'll turn it up myself." Nahmir was obviously hurt about how everything went down, but Corday said in an interview with Tidal that it was all still love.
Nahmir and Jay, like, those always gonna be my brothers, you know what I'm saying? In real life, like, those are my brothers. Like, I think the world of them cats, you know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes as friends, you grow apart and you have like different.
So yeah, they grow apart, but the reason is Corday was by far more talented. I mean, he was nominated for a Grammy. Go listen to Lost Boys. It's breathtaking, right? Like, you're talking about art. You're talking about music that connects and speaks to young people, opens up their minds. It's not just filling them with, like, fucking viral TikTok shit. No offense, but there's just a lot of sound and noise out there. And there's a lot of viral stuff that isn't necessarily art.
Visions for what you want to do, and that's okay, because it's no love lost. Like I said, I think the world of them, you know what I'm saying? I love Nahmir and Jay to death.
Nahmir took the breakup of YBN pretty hard. In November 2020, he tweeted, "After my album, I really just want to be done. Tired of fake teams, weak-ass conflict of interest, everything. I'm gonna give y'all the best music ever, then I'm gone." Later, he said he was just playing, but everyone knew that was cap. Around the same time, Nahmir was getting trolled by fans on Twitter for posting ads on Instagram. Nahmir was pushing some kind of wealth building course, and fans said he was really struggling. Nahmir responded by claiming he gets paid $5K per post and said, "Who wouldn't make a simple Instagram post for $5,000? I guess I'm broke, guys. Stay blessed, child." Nahmir was having a hard time in 2020, but when 2021 came around, it seemed like everything was cool again. He was hyping up the release of his debut album and was spreading good vibes about Corday and Almighty J in interviews. Then, in February 2021, he went on No Jumper and explained how the breakup wasn't because there was issues in the group, but people from outside was taking advantage of him. During that interview, Nahmir made it clear that he still had love for Jay and Corday.
I got to. It feels so good just to know they winning at the end of the day. Like, know they providing for their family, know they doing the right things, keeping their head out of the bullshit.
Around the same time, Almighty J called out their manager for taking advantage of him. He posted on Instagram, "This James McMillan is a fraud. He signed to janky deals and f*** him over. Nobody know nothing about the shit we go through on a daily basis being signed to this because we covered for this ass. I'm done with this shit." Then he said, "Trademarking the YBN name behind backs. Assign me a lawyer he used to be engaged to without telling me." Shaking my head, took advantage of some kids, bro. Corday later backed up the claims that someone on the outside was responsible for him dropping YBN from his name. He told Genius that since none of them own the YBN trademark, he can't be talking to kids about ownership and all it is when we pushing this brand that we don't even own. He also said that he called Nahmir up before making a decision. It ain't nothing against Nahmir and Jay. Before I came to the conclusion that I was going to drop the 3 letters, I called Nahmir and I asked for his blessing. Even though Corday and Jay wasn't repping YBN no more, it seemed like everything was cool between them and Nahmir. But after Nahmir dropped his debut album in March 2021, everything went downhill fast. In a couple of months, he went from showing love to Almighty Jay in interviews to wanting to get in the ring with him and box.
What? Yo! Shit moves so fast, and if you don't make the right moves with your money, protect your name, your brand, your labels, your ideas, you gotta really look into this shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't have the rights to these names and shit. Like, that's why another reason I changed my YouTube channel to Jflood201REACTS. First off, it's giving you a more accurate description of what we do here at the channel right now, because we haven't had a lot of artists coming for interviews since I lost power in this little situation I got. Also, it's been hard for people to travel. Before, I was doing a lot of the traveling, so I would go to artists, get a vibe with them, and then they'd be cool to come back here. I can't really do that as much anymore. But it's crazy how he goes from doing interviews and promoting music to wanting to do a celebrity boxing match, because it's like, you know that's about the bag, right? Like, it's a money grab.
When Nahmir first popped off with Rubbing Off the Paint, a lot of fans thought he had potential to be a star. But just 3 years later, his first album only sold 4,000 copies in his first week. Bad sales are one thing, but Nahmir got dragged for the quality too. 6 months after its release, the track Soul Train had 405,000 dislikes on YouTube, with just 55,000 likes. Then a couple months later, Nahmir and Jay started taking shots at each other on social media. According to Jay, he and Nahmir was beefing for 2 years over some money. Jay posted a video explaining the situation.
An incident ended up like occurring, like with some I used to be cool with. They end up doing something, and Nahmir ended up like getting caught up in it somehow, like what they end up doing. Mind you, I ain't cool with the no more that the incident had happened. I end up paying 30,000. And Nahmir ended up paying 10. A couple months go by after the incident, or a month or so go by. Me and him ain't talked, none of that.
Nahmir allegedly wanted Jay to pay him for the 10 bands he put up, but obviously, Jay wasn't trying to pay the whole bill. Eventually, the situation got so heated that Nahmir and Jay tried to set up a boxing match to settle it. Jay said, "I might as well get paid to beat his ass, and I want to do it in front of everybody." Nahmir shot back and told him, "I've been trying to beat your ass, just like I beat your mans and them up. When y'all see Cuz hurt with all them black guys, think."
What do you want?
Want a job that I don't need.
Fuck. Sorry, guys.
Ain't hit Cuz with bottles this time. Nahmir is referencing the time Jay was attacked in New York back in 2019. Jay had bottles broken on him, then the attacker stabbed and stomped on them before they snatched his money and chains. Having beef with your homies is one thing, but Jay almost died that night. So Nahmir bringing it up like that was a low blow. But later, Jay told DJ Academics that he would never actually hurt him. According to him, Nahmir was just putting on a tough guy act and trying to portray himself as some kind of street dude. Jay told him,
"Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like Nahmir isn't nearly as street or as hood as he tries to be." And that one song that really popped for him was Rubbing Off the Paint. And in that music video, he flashes a gun a couple times. And I don't know, it just was a really hot song with a really great hook, and it popped out that summer. There was lackluster music going on, and I remember that song was a genuine hit, Rubbing Off the Paint, right? Like, it was dope. But I wonder if, like, that image and what kind of music got popping for him now took a piece of what he felt like he needed to be. Like, he needed to do that for his audience, right? It's crazy, but...
"You know what I fear for him? I fear that this gonna end up doing something to try and prove himself to the world.
Exactly.
That he's so tough that he's gonna end up in jail for doing some dumbass shit."
Yeah, exactly.
Jay and Nahmir was taking shots back and forth for a while, but then Jay dropped some crazy news. Nahmir has claimed for years that he's a Crip. Back in November 2019, he even tweeted, "I'ma keep it gangsta, but I'm always with my Crips." But during the Instagram live session, Almighty Jay reveals an old photo showing Nahmir repping GD. Switching gangs ain't something that just happens. And this picture just backs up Jay's claim that Nahmir's putting on the front to look tough. The situation calmed down after this. The boxing match never happened, and both of them seemed to just move on. In January 2022, Nahmir showed off a bunch of diamond YBN chains on Instagram and wrote, "2022, come join the winning team." It looked like he was trying to restart YBN and bring in new artists, but it wasn't long before someone else called him out for switching gangs. In February 2022, Nahmir was on an IG live session with a rapper named Jace and another dude. Jace kept on pressing Nahmir about switching from GD to Crip, and at first, he was just dodging the question. But Jace ain't let up and said, "Alright, I'm gonna let you talk. How you went from GD to Crip?" And this is where Nahmir put the nail in his own coffin. Jace and the other dude on the live session paused to let Nahmir explain himself.
I was from GD to Crip, it happened.
There's no way on Bible. There is no way.
You joking? Bro, you didn't even.
There is no way you just said. He just admitted.
YBN Nahmir is a high-profile artist who's been claiming Crip for years, and all he had to say about the situation was, it happened. He could have just denied it or kept his mouth shut, but admitting to switching gangs on live basically confirmed that he was never really about that life.
That's wild because, like, people do switch. It's usually in jail, though. So, unless he went to jail and got put on, like there were more Crip people in that block, in that unit or whatever, and you know, like, or he found out that maybe he was false flagging. Like, it turns out that the people who told him, like, yo, now you GD or whatever, he did his research and he's like, nah, these people aren't even sanctioned, right? Like, they not even really, like, you know, like, they got no connections out to the people in Chicago, and they got no you know, like, they're not real GDs. Then you could try to join a real gang. But if I'm being honest, you should have been able to smell that out. And, like, no real street dudes are going to get put onto a fake gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, it means that you were trying to fit in. I don't bang, I just know it. I've been around people who really bang. And I've been around people who claim shit that they are not. And let me tell you, they mostly get beat the fuck up. Because they say something wrong, do something wrong, they don't know their paperwork, they don't know the handshakes, they don't know the history, and someone calls them on it. And they're like, oh yeah? You know? And so he could have turned, he could have gone from GD to Crip for like a million reasons, I guess I'm trying to say. But none of them are really good reasons. Unless you are in jail, none of them are good reasons. And it definitely hurts your image as a rapper if you're trying to be a gangster rapper. He should have just never claimed gangs. He has to understand how young he is. Just because you came up out of a song where you're flashing a gun doesn't mean you have to be a fucking gang member. You could just say that, yeah, like, I was into some dumb shit at the time. Or, oh, yeah, like, you know, I've always been affiliated with different friends, and so, you know, I just got caught in that picture. Like, you could say, like, oh yeah, I was just with some GDs that day, so I got a picture. Like, you know what I mean? It's really how you respond to that creates whether or not it's a big deal or a little deal. And the way he went about it, I think, like they said, like, he put the ball in their court and they just reacted. They just fried him. They go, what? Oh, what? How could you say that? How did you admit that? If he had played it off differently and not given them the ammunition to do that, it wouldn't have looked so bad, bro.
Nahmir was mocked like crazy for the live session, but come to find out, he's been dealing with even bigger issues in his personal life. In March 2022, he revealed in a series of tweets that he's been battling alcohol addiction for the past 3 years. He told his fans, alright y'all, I feel like it's best for me to just get this out of my system. For 3 years I've been struggling with an alcoholic addiction. I've changed so much due to it, and not in the right ways. I've pushed so many of my loved ones away, and the people I care about because of it.
I feel for him, though. If he's struggling with addiction, you guys know here on my channel that we like to talk about it. And I like to tell people that your addictions are they're your poison, they're your vice that you have to struggle through. That's your walk. That's your walk with God, your higher power, or whoever. But you guys know that I am currently sober from drugs and alcohol, hard drugs and alcohol. And that my relationship with marijuana is complicated. But that right now I'm in a program. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I'm in a program. So I get drug tested, so I know what's in my system. The only thing I ever pop for is marijuana. So that's the only thing I ever intake into my system, and it's the real reason I can't count days. I can't be like, oh, yo, I got 90 days clean or whatever. Because you're not really clean if you still smoking weed. It's bullshit. California sober, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, like, you still are, you're not 100% clean. So I don't claim that. But I do like to talk about addiction. I like to talk about substance abuse. I like to talk about substance disorder, drug-seeking behavior, all of that. And I'm telling you right now that if he's really an alcoholic, to catch it early like that, bro, is everything. You know, I drank for 10 years. I drank until I started drinking like a fish. And I didn't know that it was even like a problem. I didn't even know that I could really become an alcoholic because I had my mindset that I wouldn't. But what I was doing was binge drinking. I would just go out to a party and get blackout. But like that's not normal behavior. So I bet you he was probably doing the same thing. But let's let him get into it. So we're gonna take it back just a couple seconds. Yeah, so we see his first tweet. Alright, y'all, I feel like it's best for me to just get this out of my system. For 3 years I've been struggling with alcoholic addiction. I've changed so much due to it and not in the right ways. How are the right ways to become an alcoholic? Anyway, I've pushed so many of my loved ones away and the people I care about because of it. Facts. Like, that's what addiction does, is it becomes the primary thing in your life. So you push everything else to the side.
An alcoholic addiction. I've changed so much due to it and not in the right ways. I've pushed so many of my loved ones away and the people I care about because of it. If you're struggling with an addiction, it's best to seek help. That's all I'm trying to do. I used to think this was just some normal shit until I realized I'm not the same anymore. Shit is one of the worst feelings ever. Blowing up overnight can be life-changing in a lot of ways, and not all of them are good. Nahmir went from a normal high school kid making GTA videos to a world-touring rapper in the blink of an eye, and his success came with consequences. Hopefully, Nahmir can get the help he needs to beat his addiction. He's only 22 years old with a lot of potential. He clearly has musical talent, but at this point, fans are tired of the fake street persona. If he gets his life under control and stops burning bridges with his homies, he could easily make a comeback and rebuild his career.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that like this is one of those things where it's just like, bro, you just gotta you gotta do what you need to do. You know, you gotta do what you need to do in order to walk that path. So you had overnight success. You can't recreate overnight success. That's not happening. But what you can do is come up with really good artists, really good music, and push that YBN shit and really try to make a comeback. And what I mean by that is, bro, you found Corday. That's wild. He's so good. That alone, bro, try to get a record with him. Work with him. He's going to inspire. You'll get it back. Man, the hook that you was coming up with, I don't know if he ever sees this, right? But if I were talking to him, I'd tell him the hooks you come up with are great. You just got to focus. Like, yeah, kick the bottle. Get off of that shit. Get sober. Get your mind right. And get your money up. So many of these young, talented artists do dumb shit. And we watch it as an audience. So, I want to encourage him to keep it up. The way that guy did the video was alright. It was pretty good. Hip Hop Daily. If you want to check out his stuff, I'm shouting him out now. I'll definitely have a link to the description either in the comments or in the video somewhere, so you could go check out the original video we just watched. And I just want to say thank you for everybody tuning in and learning a little bit about some recent hip hop history with me. Wasn't really all that interesting. It just sounds like another case of 15 minutes of fame. But it's good that Corday came out of that group. I think that he's a really talented artist and frankly a lot better than whoever those other two guys are, Nahmir and Jay. But I wish them the best of success, you know? I hope they can still get it, go to it. Anyway, that's my take on things. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for learning a little bit of something we could criticize and we could all kind of like, you know, try to make better moves and learn from that as an example. Alright guys, that's it. This is Jflood201REACTS, and I'm done here. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't like, give the feedback too. Put a thumbs down. I'll try to twist up the material and find better stuff for you guys. But with that being said, it's all a wrap.